Recession, where and for whom? So I keep talking about how national news is homogenizing data, and that is a very important point to recognize because we're in a period of accelerating polarization of wealth gaps and belief systems. We're having increasingly kind of incompatible realities coexisting in our country. So as an example, look at this little excerpt of data from Q3. This is Miami-Dade condo data, which shows that despite a nationwide slowdown and recessionary fears, rising interest rates, all that stuff, we've had record volume through Q3 of this year for sales of condos past $2,000 a square foot. Comparing it to the most recent pre-COVID year, 2019, that's a 775% increase. That's almost 9x. Everyone. And the numbers are this year through Q3, we've had 175 condo sales past 2,000 square foot. Last year it was 145, so we're over year over year. And pre-COVID 2019, it was 20. 20 total past 2,000 a square foot. To put that number in perspective, this year we've had 10 sell past 4,000 a square foot, whereas previously past 4,000 a square foot didn't exist, it was zero. So this whole kind of asset class, this whole new appetite for what used to be non-existent and uber luxury in Miami past 2,000 square foot is now, existing in orders of magnitude higher than it did before, because apparently, that's what the people coming here, moving here to set up lives here are consuming. And this is just begun, as I keep saying. People are slow to recognize momentum cycles. They think the present is forever, and it's not. Things change. Reality as we know it thus far has largely been a pre-internet construct. So we have sort of a confluence of a few things happening here. We have the end of the super debt cycle that was started post Bretton Woods. How that will play out remains to be seen, but that's where we're at. We have the emergence. It emerged 20, 30 years ago, but we have a technological revolution happening as life and work is reshaping around the internet. And why it didn't do so before is because the internet came in increments and people are creatures of habit. COVID came and broke habits and allowed for the formation of new ones, including new work-life habits. And now the internet is transforming lives, work life for a certain percentage of people. So it's transformative, much like the Gutenberg printing press was in Europe, ushering in industrialization. We have the internet. So we have technology, we have the end of a major debt cycle approaching, and then we had this sort of restrictions of the movement of people. We had this cataclysmic event that was COVID that acted like a world war in many ways and accelerated all of this. So we have all these three things coming together, and now poof, we're in the aftermath, and the dust, well, it's beginning to settle, but again, people don't really perceive momentum until the effects of it are so big, they hit them in the face. So I believe that our feeder jurisdictions are going to keep kicking capital to us. We were already receiving the largest number, by we, I mean Florida, the state of Florida, we're receiving the largest number of high-value taxpayers according to IRS filings, people filing over $200,000 or more per year. I think in that 1 year, 2021, we had over 21,000. Texas was number 2 with 5,000, and that's just going to keep feeding itself, because those people are going to represent budget shortfalls from the states they're leaving, and it's just going to go like this. So I believe our feeder jurisdictions are going to increase their hostilities to capital. They're going to keep sending people over here, and this is one of the places, and it's just begun. So this little excerpt of data here illustrates this polarization across America that I keep talking about, that I think is going to be one of the defining characteristics of the rest of our adult lives. People had this pause, this break in habits, and they said, where do I want to live? And people are increasingly geographically polarizing along wealth and belief systems, and that's what I think this little snippet of data illustrates. Interesting times ahead, everyone.